Ladies and gentlemen, I saw this story a few days ago, and, like many, I was outraged. And, let's just face it, y'all. These historic plantation police do not show up to help men in the Black community, women, or even our children when they are in distress. They show up to see if they can find a way to harm us and get away with it. And that's what we have seen historically. So let's call it what it is. Y'all just show up to see if it's an opportunity to get away with causing further damage and not being of any help at all. And this is usually how you appear. Well, there is a follow-up to this story about the 9-year-old Black girl, because we know they don't pepper spray 9-year-old white children. No matter what the circumstances are, they're not going to do that. So whenever you see they don't use some type of weapon or pepper spray or taser, you can best believe that we know this little girl was Black. So this is NPR, February 2nd, 2021. So I'm going to go ahead and play this audio, and then I'll come back with my commentary. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it appears that NPR took the audio down, but that's okay. We can still get through the article. So apparently there was a domestic dispute at a home and a police were called. And of course, in these circumstances, children are impacted, despite the fact I will hear people say, oh, well, they were in another room, as if they can't hear you from another room. I mean, I think that is the most ridiculous thing for anybody to say. If you're still in that house together, trust me, you can hear. When I was growing up and when my parents got into arguments, I would hear the whole argument because I'm in the same house with them. So to think because your kids are in another room, they can't hear nothing, that's just downright laughable. Okay, let's be real. That is the silliest thing ever for anybody to say. So let's just get to this, y'all. Police officers in Rochester, New York, who handcuffed and pepper sprayed a 9-year-old Black girl in distress after a family dispute, they were suspended. You really need to go in their background to see how many times they showed up on calls from the Black community, and they did simple remedial things of no use to the people that they went out there, and they were supposed to be helpful in the situation. But we know these kind of cops refuse to be helpful when they're dealing with us. We already know this. There's no point in even going there. So in Rochester, New York, one police officer is suspended and 2 others are on administrative leave. They're getting paid while they're not there. Yeah, what a punishment, y'all. Way to go. They handcuffed and pepper sprayed a 9-year-old girl who was in a lot of distress at the time. Body cam footage show her struggling and screaming for her dad as officers tried to force her into a police car. They wanted to take her to the hospital for a mental health evaluation. So if she was having a mental episode, why would you pepper spray her? Y'all ain't no good. And this is why I say and continue to say you have no business patrolling us with your kind of history. You have no business doing it, period. So, the child has not been identified because of her age. So the officer sounds dumber than the actual child. So the unidentified officer, I don't know why the officer is unidentified if they're a public servant, but that's how they have them in here. You're acting like a child. Stop. So the child responded, I am a child. You mean to tell me you said that to a 9-year-old? You're acting like a child? She's not an adult. Are you insane? Some of these people, they're not fit to be out here policing anything. They're too dumb. Said that to a 9-year-old. Rochester police already under investigation for the death in the custody of Daniel Prude. And y'all remember he had also a mental episode and they put a bag over his head and proceeded to kill him. Yeah, Rochester, you're looking real good. So keep your handcuffs off of our kids. So somebody was outside yelling at the police and they said this, keep your handcuffs off of our kids. Liz Baker byline, 100 or so protesters endured the biting of the Rochester cold last night, a rally outside of the police precinct. And Maurice Jones walked with her 8 and 9-year-old siblings, and they were shouting and chanting down the street. So apparently, trust me, it is bitterly cold in the Northeast. And these people still went out and they tried to protest what happened. So, unidentified protester, who keeps us safe? Who keeps us safe? So that's what they were saying when they were chanting in front of the police department. No defense. And I know your heart is in the right place, but it's just not the right thing to do. These cops are not concerned about doing the right thing for the Black community. They haven't ever been concerned. And look, nothing has changed about these cops, y'all. I want y'all to be observant. So back in the plantation days, we were viewed as property, right? So they were looking out for the best interests of the slave owner. And today, they're pretty much doing the same thing. And even the community they come from in general, whenever we're protesting, what do? They talk about property, looting property, okay? And no concern for the victim that's Black. So as you can see, the mindset over the years have never, ever changed. They cared for the property owner back then, and they care about business owners today. Nothing has changed. So what would make you believe they're going to show up and do the right thing now when they haven't done this for centuries? They did this to this 9-year-old girl because historically they have always been able to do things to our kids and get away with it. Now, remember, Daniel Prude, bunch of cops shows up. He's apparently having an episode. There is a record on him of having mental issues. And what do? They proceed to kill the man. These folks should never be approaching us at all. They just flat out refuse to do their job when they're dealing with us. When they come to deal with us, they want to do all of these other things. And this is just more evidence of white supremacists being within police departments, like we have been saying all along. And they just keep proving it over and over and over and over and over. They shouldn't be near our kids or anyone for that matter in our community. Historically, they have shown their hand already, and it's never good. It's never good. Or if there is one thing, remember the white policewoman that was holding a baby and her husband took all kinds of picture, a Black baby, and he put it online like that, like she did something good, holding a Black baby. Y'all need to get out of our faces for real. Stop interacting with us if these are the kind of things you're going to do when you show up. You are not the ones that should be policing us, period. History tells us that. The present tells us that. These stories tell us that. And we don't need more of this. We need far less of it, and y'all just need to disappear. Do we need policing? Yes, but we don't need your kind of policing. This is not the kind of policing we need. If this is what you're offering, please move on. No one on this planet needs this kind of policing. What you're offering is just complete BS. Nobody needs to be policed like this, and you know it. You're not that damn out of your mind where you don't know that this is wrong, but you don't care because historically you have never cared. But y'all, please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell. And no, I'm not happy that these cops just got a suspension and got administrative leave, because we know that's always not, it's just a bunch of nothing. That's all it is, a bunch of nothing. The same thing we see day in and day out. They are not going to punish each other. You know, they made that pact a long time ago. They are never going to punish each other. And absolutely nothing is going to happen to these cops, no matter what the outrage is in Rochester or even nationwide. They're not going to do nothing to these cops. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.